I know I don't look too great right now. Um, I just got done by taking a nap, like just right after school. Like I was just ready to give up. Like, because I had to do some basic algebra and some other English problems and this and that. And after that, when I went to the library, man, I decided to go on the computer, and after the computer, I was done. I was about to shut it off, but guess what? My grandma came to tap me on my shoulder and let me know that something came up that I should have known about, but I just forgot. Everyone forgot because it was a long time ago that she told me. She's like, "Oh, you're gonna work out with us. You're gonna do a 2 mile run with your auntie Tamara, and you're gonna do some bench presses. Our new bench press we got in our house." And I'm thinking to my head, "Fuck no, fuck no, fuck no." You know, I was just not up from doing it. I was so tired. I was ready to give up flight. I was just wanted my mom to pick me up and just take me home so I can go to sleep because I was tired and I just did not know how this. I don't know how this happened and I did do and I did a 2 mile run and I did some bench presses and in all I did 80 bench presses and that's a lot and. And I know I'm gonna be sore tomorrow, but I just took a 4 hour nap and I feel great. And then after my nap, I decided to finish some homework that I had to do from school. Then I was playing some Devil May Cry. Speaking of Devil May Cry, I'm gonna do my review of Devil May Cry and slash the series as well as I talk about the Devil May Cry one. Because I beat a Devil May Cry one like twice, and I pretty much have done everything. So I'm probably gonna do my review on Devil May Cry because I really want to talk about Devil May Cry and people don't usually talk about Devil May Cry that much on the computer. But believe it or not, it didn't start with my algebra that getting a freaking migraine. It all started with the Expendables. Now, going to the Expendables, you're probably gonna love this movie, or probably think it's decent, or it was just fun, or it's eh. But okay, of course, like I said, going into the movie, when you look at the Expendables and your TV on cable, and you're like looking at, you're like switching the channels, and you see the Expendables, and you see all these action stars that you knew back in the late '90s and late 2000s and '70s and '80s, so on and so forth. And it's one of those movies that you just really hype up to watch. It's one of those movies, and it's because I'm a big action fan, and action adventure is one of my favorites. But in the Expendables, it's just pretty much action and Civil War. So yeah, I also wanted to see like the Adventures of Tintin, which I thought was actually I heard it was a really a lot of good. It was a really good movie. I heard a lot of good reports about that movie. So I probably will see that too. Yeah, I know you're probably wondering, like, man, Malachi, what have you been all this time? Man, you're missing a lot of movies. I know, exactly. Like, I would love, I would love to go to the theaters, but since my parents are not theater people, they don't want to spend that much money, and which I do agree, I do understand that the theaters are too expensive these days. There were so many movies I wanted to see in 2011. There were so many movies I wanted to see back in 2010. I missed a lot, but out of all the things I missed, I actually saw a lot of movies. So there we go. And back in 2010, like I said, I missed a lot. So as you guessed, The Expendables was one of them. And I finally saw the movie. I saw it on Netflix, and I saw it on Netflix, and I finished it. Now I'm reviewing it. So, okay, God, I'm just repeating myself, but I'll say it again. Like I said, going into the movie, you really want to see it. Like, you think you're gonna love it, and it's because you see your own action stars, that you know and love, like Jason Statham, Jet Li, or Sylvester Stallone. Back in the Rockies, Rocky, Rambo, the Transporter. Jet Li's always an action star that we all know and love. And gotta admit, man, people are getting old these days. My God, Like Sylvester Stallone, he looks old. I'm I'm serious, but for what he looks like, he's not that bad. Because working out stops old age a little bit. But I bet you anything, if he never stopped working out, he probably would have. You know, doesn't look as good as he does now. Okay. Oh, going. I wanted to like this movie. I did. I actually, in fact, I wanted to love this movie, but I didn't. I didn't. It suffered in many different reasons. I think the main reason what the Expendables failed by doing, it has to be, it's trying to recreate that the old '80s action movies, for instance, like Rambo and Terminator 2, Predator, Predators. It was trying to recreate those movies, and it failed, really failed. I'm very disappointed in the Expendables. I really am. Um, that's pretty much what the Expendables fails to do. It's trying to recreate the old action movies, and I'm a huge '80s and '70s back in the day old the time fan, and I love old movies. Guys, I love The Thing. I love Aliens. It. So I love the '80s movies. I think you guys already know that Aliens and The Thing is one of my favorite movies, and you already know I love them to death. So I love the '80s. And Rambo might be one of them, like Rambo First Blood. Um, love that movie. I love it. I love it. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger Commando. I love that movie. I love it. I love it. I love it. Even how corny and cheesy and how sometimes silly it is. It's like an everyday Schwarzenegger movie that we know and love. It's one of those Schwarzenegger movies like if someone said, "Who's Arnold Schwarzenegger?" and it's like, watch Commando. That's his actual ultimate movie to show who Arnold Schwarzenegger is. So that's a movie. Um. Anyways, The Expendables. Um. Not only it suffers on the matter of trying to recreate the old action movies, it fails on chemistry of friends in the group, because in Predator, the groups in Predator were really memorable, and you cared about the characters in here for some reason. But then in the Expendables, you really don't get to know that much people. Like I think uh, there's only three people out of the five Expendables that you get to know. Stallone, Sylvester Stallone. Jason Statham, and Mickey Rourke. That's pretty much all you know. And Mickey Rourke is barely in the movie, and I get to know him and care about that guy. And yeah, it just lacked on chemistry and trying to recreate the '80s action movies, and it just failed. It really did. Um, and and what I really but let me just tell you right now, the same way I'm disappointed in the Expendables, the same time I actually really enjoyed it. I love the beginning. No, I don't love. I don't love this movie. I just thoroughly enjoy. I thought it was fun, but it's kind of dumb. But I mean, I'll get to that. But I liked the beginning and I liked the ending. I liked the ending. The beginning was actually, it started off really good. It shows this really cool just like out of the blue, you don't know what's going on. You just see these soldiers are about to kill these hostages, and you just see Jason Statham and everybody in their group, and I gotta admit there was actually some cool dialogue in there. They were speaking of dialogue, there was actually some bad dialogue too, but but anyways, going on in the beginning, there was actually times when they were like in the down on the floor when the soldiers are right there about to kill the hostages. Um, yeah, and Jason Statham and Sylvester Stallone was talking back and forth, like arguing, like, I'll get the two guys on the right. And Sylvester Stallone like, oh, I'm gonna throw up my knife, like, and it's like, knife is not faster than a bullet, and it's like, yes, it is. And, you know, Jason Statham's like, yeah, you know, and some actually some funny dialogue. I mean, like in the ending where what was it? Where Sylvester Stallone was fighting that big guy, and you know, after he fought him, you know, one of you know, I think Terry Crews is like, hey, what happened? I got my ass kicked. You know, I got my ass kicked. Yeah, pretty funny dialogue. But the bad dialogue, it's I don't want to consider bad. I just consider like kind of a weird to say it type of dialogue. Because I never heard anything like it before. Like there was a scene. Okay, basically, let me just tell you what the movie is pretty much about. It's pretty much about these mercenaries, and we expect them when we watch the Expendables. We expect them to believe that they were mercenaries and they were fighting crime all these years. And I'll get to that too. But it's pretty much all these mercenaries and fighting crime and saving lives. And supposedly this story is about a woman named Sandra, and they have to go back to I totally forgot what they went to go get her, but to go meet her, but yeah, but they went. Supposedly they're rescuing her from her father because she's a leader of a Nazi, and this evil warlord, the guy from The Dark Knight. Forgot what his name is, but if you guys remember clearly in The Dark Knight where the Two-Face was inside the car and the guy was like right next to him. Yeah, that was the guy who was in the movie, who was you know, limping with the cane. That he's in there. He's the main villain. Which really sucks about this villain. He's not rememberable at all. He barely had a part. He was badass in The Dark Knight. Even though he was a bad villain and he was my least character, he still actually had a cool part. And if you guys don't know, of course, The Dark Knight is one of my favorite movies as well. So he was the main villain, and his henchman was that big guy called Austin Martin, I believe. I can't really remember his name. So basically, it's about the Expendables. The mercenaries are trying to rescue this woman from the Nazi and the Civil War and this and that. So that's basically it. So yeah, like that's pretty much what the Expendables is supposed to be. And what really drives me crazy, how it's trying to make us believe that these mercenaries, the Expendables, we expect them to believe that they did this for years. I'm sorry, if they actually try to do that, for some reason, not for some reason, I know the fucking reason, that if you watch the movie, you just expect them to do this the very first time. And for some reason, this movie always thinks like, oh, you gotta think that they've done this for millions of years or thousands of years or this and that. It's just, I think a flashback would have helped. Really would have helped. If they showed, like, back in the day, if they were, like, how did they meet or something. I wish they added something like to that. And yeah, I wish they actually really did that. And I gotta admit, I wish what actually helped, and other critics actually on YouTube actually said this, so that would might be a little bit easier. But well, first let me tell you, like, I can barely remember their names, and they were so fucking weird names. They were just so weird. I mean, who? I know that Sylvester Stallone directed this, and I don't know if he picked the names for his friends and him, because their names are fucking weird. I'm sorry. Sylvester Stallone's name is Barney, and Jason Statham's name is Christmas. Really? Barney Christmas? And the thing that the internet reviewers said that might help if you just call them their actual names, like, you know, like they should just say that, hey Jason, give me a rifle, or Stallone, give me this, and Jolie, you want to kick some shit up, you know. They should have just said something about like that. They should have used their actual names, which I really hope, well, I wish they did. And And yeah, going back to the weird dialogue, it's very weird. I wouldn't consider it as bad. I heard more bad dialogue than this, but I just never heard it before, and I think I probably just gotta get used to it, I guess. But it was just a scene where Jason Statham and Sylvester Stallone would be undercover, like they're like some sort of photographers, and they're taking, and Sandra was taking him to this high ground where whoever knows why they went up there, I forgot. Um, and they went up there, and when she was driving the car, and Sylvester was like, "Hey, you draw like these pictures up on the ceiling?" He's like, "Yes, please take one." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And he's like, well, "How much you want for it?" And he's like, "Keep it. I don't pay." He's like, I only buy gifts. I don't take gifts without paying them." And I'm like, I don't get that. I don't I don't accept gifts without paying it. Sylvester, it's a gift. It's a gift. You don't pay for a gift. It's a gift. It's a gift. It's just a gift. You don't have to pay for a gift. I thought that was just very weird. But like I said, the beginning was kind of badass. And speaking of badass, the Expendables mercenaries, they were badass like in the beginning and the ending. I thought the ending was actually pretty good. I thought they were actually I thought they were actually getting better by progressing. But I have to say this is my least favorite groups in an action movie. I think the Colonial Marines and Aliens are more badass in this. I think in Predator the mercenaries are more badass in this. I think any mercenary. I think in Resident Evil 5's mercenaries they're badass than the Expendables. I'm sorry, it's just not. And oh my god, I have to talk about this. In an Expendables movie, you did not expect this at all. Why in the hell that they added CGI violence? Why? Why did they add that? You know, it's kind of weird because no internet reviewer I heard that they complained about the CGI. Maybe it's because since it was on Netflix, maybe they just added CGI. I'm just guessing that because this CGI was terrible. Because in the ending, when they were like the whole time when they were fighting and cutting throats and chopping off hands and head and throat, and it's all CG. And the worst one of all, the two worst one of all is when that big guy, that henchman, was fighting one of the UFC fighters in the Expendables team, and the big guy landed on the fire, and he's all burning up and shit. And it's CG. It's not him actually on fire. He looks like a freaking like a stone. Just like he looks like a blue person that's like sparking with fire. It's ugly. And it was and the fire was CGI. Everything was CGI. And the other one was terrible was when the main villain, when Sylvester Stallone had a gun to him because the main villain has Sandra right here with him, and he's like, why'd you come after me and this? I didn't come before you, dipshit. I came for her. And he's like shooting him, and it's like all cartoon. It's like. And what made it worse is when Jason Statham came up behind him and stabbed him right in the back. And right when that happened, you just look at him, and his whole body, except for his face, is all CG. What? I fucking hate this movie just for that. But I just didn't. It's not a good movie. It's not. But that doesn't mean I did not enjoy it. I actually did enjoy the action, but the CGI killed it. I did enjoy some lines in the movie. But I think the casting is the best part of the movie, because we love all these actors that we've seen and known and loved back in the 80s and 90s and this and that. So that's pretty much all I could say about the Expendables. Is it good? No. Is it fun? Yes. It's no way as good as any of the other action movies like Rambo, Predator, Rocky, this and that. It really isn't. So that's pretty much all I can say, you guys. I mean, can I recommend it? Can you recommend it? If you want, it's not really your money's worth by any means. It really isn't. But I mean, what am I talking about? You can't even pay. It's not even theaters. Just watch it on Netflix. I mean, no, I do not recommend it. But if it's one of those type of movies if you want to watch if you're drunk. That's pretty much it. That's all I can say. It's pretty much when you're drunk. That's it. I mean, because when the action movies start, you'll just be drinking your wine. I'll be like, yeah, action scenes, boom. You know. That's pretty much all I can say, you guys. Oh, and the cameo of Arnold Schwarzenegger was actually pretty impressive. But even that was actually kind of weird dialogue when they were talking. Sylvester Stallone and Bruce Willis and Arnold Schwarzenegger, the cameo. It wasn't really a good scene. But that's pretty much all I can say, you guys. Did I like it? A little bit. I mean, it's very disappointing. I really wanted to love it as much as the other ones, but I just didn't get it in this movie. So that's pretty much all I can say about the Expendables, guys. Just watch it if you are bored or something. If you have nothing to do, just watch it if you want. But if you want to watch it with a family, or you're just like hyped up to watch it with some bros, don't watch it. If you take my advice, I just watch it anyways. Just don't watch it. It's not worth your time. It's only worth your time if you're bored. Like I said, I have a habit of repeating myself, but that's all I can say about you guys. Until then, I'll see you guys later for some more videos. So take care.